All right, let's move on to Northwestern and Illinois. Northwestern wins this one 45-43. Really good game, actually. This was a kind of an underrated game. Northwestern still playing hard for David Braun. Northwestern turned it over a couple times, but John Paddock did the same thing with Illinois. They capitalized, they did what they had to do, and at the end of the day, Northwestern came out on top. Connor, what were your thoughts with this game?
Unlike the Wisconsin Minnesota game, I mean, this was the opposite of what I was expecting. I did not expect to see an 88 point, game here. It was one of the more electric games I saw this weekend. I'm still just beyond impressed with what Northwestern's been able to do. I'm sure that we'll see them go hard in the transfer portal this year. And I think they deserve it. With what they had to deal with, losing David Braun, obviously right up there for Coach of the Year candidate. And able to pull this one off, I got to give it to him. I'm a big Northwestern fan this year, and so I think that this was a good game to watch.
Oh yeah, man. I thought Illinois was going to tie it up there. I mean, I'm looking that 80-yard touchdown, there with what 55 seconds left. Oh, not 19. 55 seconds left. Like that's huge to get
Oh,
that
it was
80-yard.
insane.
Just absolutely crazy. And they get out there, they try to get the 2-point conversion fail. I mean, that just has to be one of the most demoralizing moments on the football field you ever experience when you have like one of the biggest plays ever, to bring you back. You're right there. All you need is a 2-point conversion and you don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
especially for John Paddock, like this guy has been huge time and time again for Illinois this season. And then it comes down to this 2-point conversion. He doesn't get it. Just heartbreaking, heartbreaking. Zach, what do you think?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I think Northwestern might be one of the best stories, if not the best story in the Big Ten this year with David Braun and all that he's gotten them through. They're fun to watch. And this game, I really agree with what you guys are saying. It was a fun game, but both teams fought too. Like it felt like the anti Minnesota, like Illinois really fought back and almost tied it up. And yeah, I just give a lot of credit. I know Illinois finished 5-7. I didn't have a lot of high expectations for Illinois coming into the season because of all the talent they lost on the back end of their defense and losing Chase Brown and Tommy DeVito, who's apparently doing at least okay in the NFL.
He's on my fantasy football team. He's doing okay.
Which, yeah, weird things are weird. But
when I get a Big Ten West quarterback on my fantasy football team, the fantasy football season's not going well.
Anyway,
sorry.
No, it's good. But I like seriously, I think that adds to the point though. Like Illinois was really good last year, and I think a lot of people thought there would be an extension of that. I don't think people realized how much they lost. And I don't think Bielema had the depth because I don't think Illinois has been a great program over the past several years. And so I think to see them on the cusp of being 500, I know a lot of Illini fans are probably upset. I just think patience. Like I think Bielema is still trying to get his guys build his program. He's already given you a very good season a year ago. And I think he'll continue to develop, continue to build depth, continue to stack good seasons. But really credit to Northwestern. They have been above and beyond what anybody expected. And I think Ben Bryant came back from injury. He threw 2 picks, but he was pretty good in this game otherwise.
Yeah, no, Ben Bryant was good, and I think John Paddock was good, too, for the most part. Southside OC is letting us know that the Java men are not happy with the Illini's performance. I don't know where you're at right now if you're an Illinois fan. I know I've talked with Sonny from over at the Illini cast, and Sonny, his big thing was, is Bret Bielema increasing the floor of Illinois? I think he is. I think it would be really, really nice if the floor of Illinois is like a bowl game. That would be awesome if, 500 is kind of your floor every single year. And you pop up for those ceilings where you contend for the Big Ten, stuff like that every now and then. But I mean, if we're looking at it and we're being honest, Bret Bielema, 5-7 his first year here, 8-5 last year. I know it was kind of a magical season for Illinois in some ways, but you didn't win the West. I'm not trying to put them down or anything like that. It was a good season. And then 5-7 this year, you're gonna have to start having some conversations about Bret Bielema, and are we getting the Wisconsin version of Bret Bielema, or are we getting the Arkansas version of Bret Bielema here? Because at the end of the day, I think that, Illinois, I'm not going to say they're a bad program by any means. I don't think they're a bad program, but they're definitely not a traditional power in the modern day of college football of the Big Ten. And so I guess it just comes back to what are your expectations at Illinois? And where do you want your head coach to be? If I were an Illinois fan, I wouldn't be happy. My expectations would be higher, personally. I'd be saying we need to at least get a bowl game every single year. I'm not saying fire the guy. I'm kind of like you, Zach, where you were talking about PJ Fleck. I don't think you fire him, but I do think you look at him and you say 5-7, it happened. That's fine, but it can't happen again. Am I off base there? What do you guys think?
No, I think Bret Bielema, I mean, he's proven himself to this point. I'm sorry about that.
So?
But I think he's proven, I mean, I guess he's shown he can deal with the Big Ten at least. Maybe the SEC is a little out of his range there, but I mean, you see what he can do with turning guys into Devin Witherspoon into top 5 picks. I mean, that guy's been balling out. Tommy DeVito, I think he was a transfer in, and maybe I'm wrong there, but I mean, he's able to take these guys, develop them into something that we didn't quite see before. So I wouldn't quite give up on him yet, but I think that, it is, you're right. I do want a bowl game every year. So,
yeah, what do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I was trying to look up their record year in, year out for the past several years. And you look at their, the past 10 years from 2013, there's only 2 seasons before Bielema got there that was 6 wins or more. And he's, over the past 3 seasons, he has 18 wins. I think it's more than any coach that's been at Illinois maybe since Ron Zook. So I totally agree that the floor I would want would be a bowl game. I don't think that's what Illinois has been. And I think to get there, I think maybe Illinois, we're looking at Illinois and what it could be, and we're saying, oh, Illinois is like a Minnesota. I might contend that Illinois actually has been more like a Northwestern or dare I say a Rutgers. But I think with a better positioning, and I think they're getting up there. I think Bielema really helps them. I just looking at their record, you guys might disagree with me there, but just looking at the past 10 years,
not at all.
Yeah, I think like the public perception of Illinois has been a little bit better than like the public's perception of Northwestern and Rutgers. Like those are normally looked upon, but like pretty, bottom feeders like Indiana, Northwestern, Rutgers. But Northwestern, obviously, Pat Fitzgerald had them poking up every now and then, and we have Northwestern 7-5 this year with, an interim head coach who's now being the head coach overall. I don't know if I've ever thought of Illinois on the same level of Rutgers. I wouldn't say they were like super all that much higher than Rutgers, but I don't know if I'd put them all the way down there. But I have to look at the wins and losses. I haven't looked at that lately for them. So yeah, but good discussion. Thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.